Welcome learners to this mini lecture corresponding with pages 205 to 211 of Lewis Mumford's Techniques and Civilization. This section of the reading summarizes the technological advances of the Paleotechnic phase. The picture you see on our opening screen is the Brooklyn Bridge. Begun in 1869 and completed in 1883, this bridge was the longest suspension bridge in the world until 1903. The Brooklyn Bridge connects Manhattan and Brooklyn and cost $15.7 million and 27 lives to construct. The Brooklyn Bridge is a great example of a lot of the advances in techniques, the mechanical triumphs that came together that made this type of a structure possible toward the end of the Paleotechnic phase. This period saw the development of mass production, which is one of the advances of the Paleotechnic phase, which enabled manufacturers to produce cheap goods of a consistent quality. This mass production capability rested on two areas in part: the perfection of the machine tools, such as the drill, lathe, and planer, and the mass-produced machine screw, which was developed by Henry Maudslay and his screw-cutting lathe. Just imagine, before this screw-cutting lathe, a machinist would, the piece of metal would turn and the machinist would hold the tool and would create a screw using that lathe. And so before the screw cutting lathe, all nuts and bolts had to be made as matching pairs. So imagine the boost that this gave to mass production, which relied on the interchangeability of parts. Another key area of advancement during the Paleotechnic phase was iron production. And as we see from the chart, iron production skyrocketed during the first 100 years of the Paleotechnic phase. Two of the uses that most transformed society were iron for bridges and ships. The steamship greatly increased the speed of ocean travel, which at the time was the only way to cross the large bodies of water, the Atlantic and the Pacific. Also, this was a time when the first skyscrapers were built, such as the Home Insurance Building in Chicago. Built in 1885, it was one of, if not the first skyscraper built in the U.S. from a steel skeleton. Also, the Eiffel Tower was built during this time. So in summary, this mini lecture and the corresponding reading kind of serves as a summary for the advances of the Paleotechnic phase. This does finish up the reading on the Paleotechnic phase. The Neotechnic phase is the next area that we will discuss as a class. So in addition to making sure that you participate in the activity for this reading, which happens to be a wiki, and making sure that you answer the essay question corresponding with this mini lecture, you also need to make sure you complete the assignment writing a 2-page paper describing the technological complex of the Paleotechnic phase and uploading that through Blackboard and through the assignment module, which is located in the Learning Session 7 Assessments folder. There is a kind of a guide on how to write that, and hopefully you remember from when you wrote did the same type of assignment where you wrote about the technological complex of the Eotechnic phase. So it's the same type of thing. Now we're doing the Paleotechnic phase. Keep in mind, we will also do one, you will do one in week 10 for the Neotechnic phase, and then you'll also complete a similar activity for where you think we are now. So keep that in mind as we go through here and study. Keep in mind that the culminating activity is to describe and name the phase in which we are currently living. As usual, if you have any problems or concerns, questions, please contact your instructor. This time I'd like to thank you for watching this mini lecture.